Okay, hello everybody. Welcome again to the Midlife Truth Bomb Show with Womantic Has and myself, Dr. Tayo. And the title of this one is something you should all love, which is to do with the cost of being a strong woman, the invisible pressure of being the strong one. And that applies in relationships, in life, in just about everyone. Because we
Mhm.
have this um, cultural and societal pressure on women. So, women to cast, do you want to continue this conversation? And I will interject when I feel like it.
Well, I think I've spoken about this with you before, that being in business since I was 27, 28 years old and working in a limousine transport space, very male dominated, very male
Mm,
dominated.
mm,
And so I had to be the strong woman. But, there's a lot of downsides in that because it trained me to lose my soft, vulnerable femininity. And so when it actually came to me engaging out there in the world, once I got strong enough to leave my marriage, it was how do you meet somebody who can find your strength sexy and
mm, mm,
not
mm,
be
mm,
put
mm,
off.
mm, 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 mm.
And I was talking
Not
to a
be put
client
off by
yesterday.
a woman.
Yes, sorry. And she said that she was broke up with her most recent partner because she emasculated him. I'm like, oh my goodness, what is going on here? Why can't we be just strong as a woman and be adored for that? So it does have a lot of problems. What about you? What do you see with your um, experience and your clients and your
Yes,
life?
it's been amazing, but when you're a strong woman, you actually either see here or are told directly that and the adjectives they use are meant to bring you down, are meant to hold you. You're told you're aggressive, you're told maybe you are arrogant, you're told that you're a whatever breaker, you know what I mean? um, okay, we're
I
trying to
think
be
it's what you
colloquial.
use with a tennis racket, right?
And sometimes that's exactly what you want to do
Yes.
because because sometimes it's necessary. And these are from people who are threatened.
Yes.
And the threat these days, I'm sure you've noticed there is a huge rise in what is called toxic masculinity. And the unfortunate thing about toxic masculinity is that they don't realize that they're hurting themselves because there is no sane woman who wants to be with a toxic male. And so they tie all the kind of things they do, misogyny, gaslighting, all kinds of things in various forms, whether it's been in, the workplace or normal living, or you're just seen as or treated as less than.
Yeah.
And when those things happen, even if it's an effort, I always encourage women it's worth the trouble, because it is trouble, to assert yourself,
Yeah.
because
Call
it'll
it out.
teach the man, call it out. It'll teach
Mm.
them not to take women for granted. The next time he comes across a woman, and he's tempted to have that kind of behavior, he'll think, oh no, I don't want to get what I got the last time. We have to be collective as women, collective educators and
Yeah.
collective educators of the males, because this world will not exist without us. We hold up
Yeah.
half the sky, and we have to therefore be seen for our own contributions. And it's not buried as it was, as you know, until recently, where the contributions, and still is, the contributions made by some important women were completely let go,
Hmm.
and the men were the ones brought forward. And what brought it into context was actually the people who discovered the double helix structure of the DNA. And they said the person who actually discovered it was a woman and who worked in this research lab with them, but her name is nowhere to be found. The men got the Nobel Prize. The woman who did a lot of the work, nobody even remembers her name.
Hmm.
Nobody even remembers her name. And it's the same
Yeah.
thing in a lot of spheres. It's the same thing in where it was something else recently. But there's so many examples where the women do the work. It was in the GLP, the current Ozempic, what do you call it? Craze, if you like. And the person who actually discovered its link with, uh, weight loss and certain other things. No, no, no. It was a BRAC one connection with breast cancer. There was somebody who actually realized the actual connection. But the people who ended up getting it and patenting the whole thing ended up with prizes and recognition, not the person who
Yep.
actually connection.
Created. Yeah.
A name is nowhere to be found. And those are the kind of
Mm.
things that we have to be aware of as women and take our space. Hold your space.
Yeah. And
What
it's
do
the
you say?
same in the workplace, isn't it? It's that overpowering bullying that can happen. But it's like I say to my clients, when they're like, oh, men this, men that, men this, I go, well, all men are not the same. And,
Mm,
they, in dating in particular, they have had challenges, but also in the workplace. There's a lot of men that have been bullied by female bosses because they may take that power a little bit too high or the way that they behave. So, it's been a tough battle for women to be recognized just generally, I feel, in
I
so many
agree.
areas in the world. And
I
and
agree.
then when you get to, over 60, pardon me, add in ageism. There's
Way
just,
before your 60s, Kaz. I mean, what are you talking about? It starts from your 50s. All of a
well,
sudden, you're
yeah.
kind of like, you put out to pasture, as it were, and you're considered as if you're brain dead and you're good for nothing, all because, midlife challenges are taking you out.
Yeah.
So
Well,
to be able
I
to,
left my marriage at 50, Dr. Tyre, so I didn't feel like that. I felt like I can fly. I'm free. So for me, it was a slightly different experience, but I
yeah,
know what you're saying. But yes,
but
it's interesting because if we think back when we were younger, we used to look at our grandparents or parents, and when they got to a certain age, you were like, oh gosh. But when you get there, my mind and my way of looking at the world is as fresh, if not fresher, because I was caught up in a marriage I didn't want to be in and I was extremely controlled and I was very victim mode. So,
yeah,
from my perspective, I became free at 50. And once I found my footing and got myself, more towards the mid to latter stages of 50, I
mm,
felt free. But in all of that, back to what we were talking about, because I was a strong, independent woman, a lot of men felt intimidated. I had to
oh,
dim my light down when I was dating.
yeah. Yeah, and it's something we should never ever have to do. As I know you agree with, be very conscious of when you are staying small. We
Mm,
should behave as we have a right to do, which is take up the space that you are in. Not aggressively, but still have your own presence, your own queenly presence, just as he will have
yes.
his own presence. Do not apologize for breathing, for existing, for,
Hmm.
for anything, because you have nothing to be apologetic to another human being for. You
Yes.
are here to live your best life, and that is shine as well as possible. And if other people perceive it as a zero-sum game, if you shine, they can't shine, then they've missed the whole plot. It's we both shine.
Yes, we should be taught this stuff in school, Dr. Tayo, and where would the world be then? And where would women
Without
be?
us, without us, they need us. They need us. They need us. They
Yes.
need both of us. They need both of us to straighten the world out. What do you say?
Well, if you and me were straightening the world out, it would be a very interesting world.
Oh boy. And then some.
I'd say that. So let's think of that as we wind up today, that maybe drop something in the comments. When have you seen yourself stay so strong, visible, vulnerable, and feminine all in
Mm,
the same space?
mm,
Because I talk a lot about vulnerability, and when people used to say to me, you need to be more vulnerable, I thought it was a weakness. In actual
mm,
fact, it's a power, girls. If
mm.
you can be strong, independent, and still be vulnerable, you have got a power because being vulnerable is just about being playful, being flirty, not
Mm.
inappropriately by any means, looking somebody in the eye, actions follow words. And that's what I see as being vulnerable. Vulnerability is not negative. What do you say?
No, it's vulnerable in the, what should we say, in the context of being your true self, of being with of sharing with people you trust, because obviously in the wrong place, it's, you know, you're giving some people some armor they don't need, or ammunition, as it were. But
Yeah,
being your true self with the people who you love, who matter, is important. But holding this, um, I am so strong I can't break, it'll break you instead.
of
So
course. Yes, that's right. And so we want to know when you've been so strong and when you've been vulnerable, or drop something in the chat as far as something you'd like us to talk about.
yes,
And
please drop something in the comments, because without you, without the comments of you, the audience, we don't know really if what we're talking about resonates, and what you want us to expand on, what you want us to talk more about, the kind of things that would really keep this community going. And we have a wonderful community, and we want to be there to share our knowledge
mhm,
with you.
that we do. So until next time, Dr. Teo, thank you so much. Love your background, love where you are, love your shirt, love your glasses. Look at you go, girl.
Look at her. Thank you so much, baby.
Ciao, Bella.
Ciao.